Hi, this is Kyle Wilkie, and today I'm going to talk to you about visionary leadership. Visionary leaders play an important role in our schools. The leaders look to the future and the end result of what they want to do. They then mobilize their followers in that direction as well by saying things like, "The future is bright." Kind of like a light bulb. "Follow me." Visionary leaders also have a plan. I put up there at the top the man with the plan. This could also be the woman with the plan, but it doesn't ring quite as nicely. There are 3 parts to visionary leadership that I want to talk about with this. In order for visionary leaders to have a good vision, they have to look at 3 things. They have to look at the past, they have to look at the present, and they have to look at the future. They look at the past to see the current state, see where we're at now. They look at the present to make a plan and execute it. And they look at the future to see the desired state, or where they want to end up. So, we could look at the example of maybe a leader wanting to increase the MAP scores of their school district. In order to do that, they first have to see where the school was, so the current state, so what scores did they get last year compared to the rest of the county. Then they will come up with a plan, looking at the present. How are we going to get our MAP scores increased, and how are we going to execute that and pass that along to our staff and students? And then finally, they have to look at the future. What's the desired state? What's the end result? What is my goal? Do I want to have the top MAP scores of the county? Do I want to be in the top 2 of the county? You have to make that decision so that you have a starting point and an ending point. Another thing that I want to talk about is collaboration. I think that it's very important for visionary leaders to collaborate. Okay, those visionary leaders are going to want to collaborate with staff so that they can see what they think about MAP scores and what they can do to fix them. They're going to want to collaborate with other buildings, maybe see what they're doing, what's working, what's not working, and also other schools. Collaboration is a very good part to any leadership that you take on. So you have your man, you have your plan, and then you execute. Now we're going to have a little bit of a history lesson. Here drawn below, I have a picture of the Roman god Janus. Janus was said to always be looking inside and outside, but you could also relate that to the past, one face looking at the past, and one face looking at the present. Good leaders also have to act somewhat like the Roman god Janus, and they have to be able to separate themselves from the past and present and be able to see those things so that they know how they want their end result to be and how they're going to execute their plan. Vision also has 4 parts, or 4 things, that need to be there to make that vision more susceptible to the people that you're trying to reflect that vision on. So, it's very important for leaders to have vision, and the 4 things that that vision needs to have. It needs to provide direction. Okay, so it needs to have a start, it needs to have a plan, and it needs to have an end. Good leadership also uses foresight. Good leaders have to be able to look to the future and be able to predict what might happen in the future. So they use that foresight. So we're going to say that a leader has great vision. They have that perfect 2020 vision for the future, whereas others, not so much. Another component of vision that is very important is the vision has to be believed. So that vision has to be believed. In other words, you have to have buy-in. You have to have buy-in from your staff, you have to have buy-in from your students, you have to have buy-in from all stakeholders so that they know what you're doing is going to be successful, and so that they are on the same page as you and your vision. The last component that I'm going to mention is your vision has to motivate. You have to motivate your staff, so get them pumped. Going back to the map score example, you have to motivate your staff. You have to believe in your staff. You have to have foresight for your vision. And you have to have direction for your vision. If you have all of those things, you're going to pump up your staff, and they will also have the same enthusiasm and motivation for your vision. Visionary leaders are also able to imagine things. They're able to have that creative mindset, that creative look to the future vision, where they can imagine what it would be like if they reached their vision. For example, with that map scores example that I gave at the beginning, if good leaders want to have those good map scores, they're also going to imagine the good map scores. So they might close their eyes and imagine what it'll feel like to be a leader of a school with awesome map scores. Or at a staff meeting, they might have their staff close their eyes and imagine what it would be like to be a teacher of a top-performing school in the county. So I have here a quote from William Arthur Ward. This actually came from a plaque that my mom got me whenever I changed my major for the 3rd, 4th, 5th time, whatever it was, to become a teacher. And it says, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. And if you can dream it, you can become it. So I think that that's a great quote for visionary leaders, because visionary leaders are able to imagine that vision and achieve that vision. Lastly, I want to go over something that all good leaders can do. Good leaders have vision and they spread it. So they have that vision and they spread it just like spreading butter.